Hey gang, welcome. We're going to jump into a premiere draft of Crimson Vow today. We did a traditional to start the week, and then we explored the free quick draft thing, midweek quick draft that Wizards is offering. That was really neat. Kind of like giving you one free phantom draft, so no keeping the rares, but then you get this draft deck that you can then play for a couple of days, almost in lieu of grinding your gold via the standard queue, or putting golden gems at risk where you're likely to lose revenue, lose resources in the queue like we're going to do today in the premier queue. I really hope the quick midweek quick draft thing gets some new drafters converted. I assume that's what Wizards is up to with it, what they're exploring there, whether they can use a because midweek is also, I assume, where play dips the most, where they're looking to, Taco Tuesday, whatever you can do to bring people in midweek when business is not at its peak. And so if they can do a midweek promotion that gets some newer Magic players or some typically constructed Magic players to dabble in Limited, since there's no downside, it's all free, and there's no stakes in the games, it really gives people a chance to dabble in a way that I think is interesting. So I hope it works for Wizards, because then they'll bring it back. If it doesn't, they'll be like, oh, well, we tried and that didn't work, so no more of that for you. Anyway, more of this for you, though. We're going to hit Crimson Vow more traditionally here, although more premierly, I suppose. Best of one. I had a lot of fun in best of three, but I just want to mix it up today, so we're going to jump in here. If you want to mix it up on your kitchen table, though, check out my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. They can give you all sorts of tools for that. Some new tech. What's your favorite format? Card Kingdom will hook you up. Just remember to check them out via my affiliate links. Let them know you got there from here, will you? Thank you. Let's draft. It depends. Do they really only try something once and table it after the single attempt? It depends on what you've learned from it. There are some things that after one attempt, you learn that was not it. This seems interesting. Starting on a sweeper. What else is here? I mean, it's a low-cost sweeper or a gold full sweeper. But I like that range, that you can kill the small stuff if it benefits you or wipe the board. But you have to be both colors there. You could also start with something powerful like a single-colored Thirst for Discovery. I like that. I like the Brine Comber. In this very specific deck, I don't know if you start there, though. I would start with Thirst over Brine Comber. What do we? A Braid is kind of the thing to pass that we'd really be passing. Yeah, this is the number 2 card, and really as a monocolored card, you're not wrong. I think I'm going to go with a Braid. I think Rob is right. I think this is a better place to start. But a sweeper, just because the true sweeper part of that card is gold. If the true Wrath part was also black or something, I would have taken that as single colored. I kind of want the Wandering Mind. I really want to try this this deck. But what do we got here? Deal 3, gain 3. Yeah, we probably take that over the clever pick. Does look awful good. There's a lot of humans running around too. Really, you think we wheel that? Well, if we take anyway, we'll see. I just am really wanting to try blue-red spells. I've never gotten in that deck, so I was just kind of enamored with that idea. But I think this is clearly the pick. It's just too obviously good on the face of things. Child of the Pack has been good for me. When I remember that you can't let it turn to night, because then you can't, yes, you can make the token at instant speed, but not if your packmate transforms. So, I like this card a lot. Fangs being suggested to stay 2 color. I do like this too. I think there's a lot of things to kill here, but I think this this has really impressed me. I'm taking it. Here's a Fangs I might take. Cadet, though, is still here. Cadet moves us more away from the grass pick and more towards green-red. Is this the best card, though? I don't know. It seems like it has such potential, but I've not really played with or against it. So, True, you're saying, what do you think is the best card, True? Because I'm still not even sure what that is here. I think it's either the Gift or the Cadet, but I'm not sure. And it's interesting they pull us. But I kind of like the Child direction, so I'm going to take the Cadet. Since I at least think that's in range for it. And then we get a Flame Blessed Bolt, but I think is clearly the best card in the pack and still here for us, along with a clunky Lacerate Flesh and the Flame Breather that would be kind of the red-blue spells thing. But great Bolt. Reckless Impulse seems totally playable in red, but maybe not important enough to take here. Like these two seem playable, but not the best. I would almost rather have the Might or the Ghoul just to fill out, a reasonable 2-drop. Although Ghoul really wants to be exploiting. Obviously, if it's not exploiting, you're not really doing much with this card. You like the Guest? I guess I really do want to lean. The red seems like it's open. I'll take it since we want to carve that lane out clearly. Ooh, Sharpshooter I like. Evolving Wilds I like. There's another Flame Breather. I'm just never too impressed with the old 3-2 for 3, right? It does some stuff, but it still trades down a lot. And even if you get a blood token out of your trade down, Anyway, Sharpshooter here though, right? I do like that it's 3 power for 3 with the training. You do like a early 3 power creature. And Mulch Scavenger, I guess we take as kind of the best Jund card here. This has been interesting, but again, the flipping into aura quote removal is just medium. I'm going to take Scavenger here. Curse Brinecomber does come back around. So it looks like, and with Minister, which I think is playable, this has been a weird card, right? It just feels like if you use the tap ability, the power and toughness just doesn't matter. So at that point, you're paying 5 mana for a tapper. Ugh, hate that. We'll just, we'll take the uncommon and take some Vault Progress. Hey, look, it did wheel. Well, we can grab it. I could see falling back into this direction. Unless we want, is Snarling Wolf even playable? Doesn't feel it. I guess Witch's Web might be, but feels like we can get these easy. I'm going to take Wandering Mind just in case, because we feel like red is pretty darn open. And if blue happens to be there as well, look, Rob wanted to take this pick 3 or whatever. Instead, we get it pick 11. Sounds fine. Still don't like this thing. I barely see this anymore. Has anybody ever played and made this work? Doesn't seem. Another Gift. How many of these we take? Yeah, maybe I've never played green-blue, and that's the issue. This takes... Well... All right, I'll take this. People say this is playable to good. Does 17 lands still support this as a good card? Because people are like, yeah, this is good. And then... I'm like, doesn't seem good, and then I played against it and it was bad. So far, my experience has been this card has been bad, but I'm willing to be swayed by experience/data. Toxic Scorp. What are we? And what's the best card here? What is the best card here? Is it just Recruit or Disciple for humans? Probably just Disciple if we're red-green, because a lot of the werewolves are humans. Oh yeah, I was considering blue-red, right? We could hedge there if we don't think anything in here is too exciting. And certainly the opportunity cost of a Disciple is whatever. Let me read what this does. Beginning of your combat turn, tap or keep something tapped. Okay, well, we'll take it and see. And then we got Wedding Announcement that could all, like, we're in this Jund lane and we get a blue rare and now a white rare that's worth considering as well. But we could take Thirst if we really want to just try to do this direction. Lancer? I think if we like Lancer, we try to get that on the wheel, right? Not every deck is doing this thing. Yeah, the Bolt is down here. This is probably the safe thing. We're gonna play this in all of our decks. But if we do end up blue-red, I'd rather have the Thirst. Yeah, Siriana, you're probably right. I'm probably just fancy playing my ideas up here, but this is really quite the card. And if we're in blue, if we end up in blue-red, I wish I would have that Thirst. But since we don't know that, we should be grown-ups and take the card, the excellent card in the color we know we are. Now what do we got? Infestation Expert, which is powerful, or Storm Chaser Drake, which can be powerful, especially if you're doing aura stuff. But what are we... so now it's kind of decision time. Are we leaning red-green or red-blue here? Huh. Yeah. Man, I don't know. I'm going to take the blue. I think I'm just doing this because I like the idea of getting into the blue deck, the red-blue deck that I've never done. But I think maybe the green card was correct. I think I'm being attracted to this blue direction. Now we do have an egg. This trouble is this is best when you're, of course, exploiting. And we don't have, if we do the blue, we're not going to play the black, which means we need to find exploit in blue to take real advantage of this. But it is yeah, I don't know. I think we take the egg in case we have enough. Because what else are we taking here? Yeah, the honey mammoth is reasonable if I'm still thinking green. Yeah, Scob is also an interesting choice. I just don't think the black has been super flowing. The gifts came late, but it wasn't like a bunch of other stuff came late. I've been pretty up on Edgar's Awakening just on the cantrip Raise Dead. I haven't used the return... the Zombify much, but when we've used the Raise Dead effect, it's been justifiable. I take this in case there's no red here, like I'm not taking a Pyre Spawn, so now we're asking ourselves really where we're at. I could take Cradle of Safety if we want the blue. Now I got 3 seconds to figure this out. Jeez, I'm gonna lean blue. Darn it, I want to try this red-blue thing, so I may be not drafting correctly here, maybe forcing the direction a little bit. Yeah, Trainwreck. Too early to say that. We're pick 2. We got strong direction. I think the blue direction is shaping up on the statue. Statue's fine. I'm a little down on it after using it yesterday, and the mana sickness, the summoning sickness nature of it is a bummer. Still more black here. Definitely the exploit deck seems like it was open. Survey is interesting, but Entomber over Betrayal here. I think I like maybe a Celebrance over another Entomber. What's Ripsaw? Is this a signal-y thing? Equip 3 is pretty expensive, but +3/+3 is pretty beefy. I'm trying to figure out how good this Ripsaw is. Feels playable if you're like, especially if you're upgrading 1/1s. But yeah, I think we don't have much in the top end of red yet, so. Yeah, Renshank. Well, I look at it and I feel a sense of respect, but I kind of made my bed here, and now I'm lying in it. So I think I'm gonna really kind of commit here. Oh man, but we're getting like, this is so late for a Mariner. And but I'm gonna do it. Whether I'm in the correct lane for my seat, I'm excited to be doing the red-blue thing. I'll say that. Maybe we crash and burn in results, but yeah, I acknowledge this. In fact, I acknowledge that I think red-blue is not the correct seat for us, but it's proving to be the correct seat for my brain right now, so that's cool. I'm going to cut all the splashy stuff, but, you know, statue plus Evolving Wilds could produce a splash. Wouldn't mind casting my spells with the rare land, but probably just need a Catgeist. I find I had a double Catgeist deck, and I often played Catgeist on turn 2 on the play. I never connected Catgeist for a card on turn 3, not once. That being said, I very much exploited this away, put it on a flyer, and connected for some cards on flyers. So that's really the role I see it having, is turning into an aura. Flame Breather is the thing, but what's this thing? I don't like can't block if I'm going to be in a low creature deck. I'd rather just have the Flame Breather, I think. What's our... We got 4, 5, 6, 7... 7 non-creatures with some flip side. Yeah, maybe Celebrant is better. That's what I'm checking. Probably wheel this anyway, right? I don't think anybody else wants that card. What's this? Rare blue. Come on, be good for us. What is this? Zombie Horror 1/2. 2 and a blue, exile target creature card from your graveyard and put +1/+1 counter on this. Has all activated abilities of. Yeah, that seems like a lot of work to get a 2/3. Grabbing another spell makes sense to me. Yes, I also love how Syncopate slides up the curve. This is non-creature, and that counts. Lacerate Flesh is interesting too, but I think I'm going to try the board in this deck. Although it's really getting counters off through creatures, which were going to be a low creature count, so maybe it's a bit of a non-bow. But stuff dies. Like, it just flips because your stuff dies. That's the thing. And then the activated ability is so nice. So I'm going to take it, even though this isn't the perfect deck for it. Yeah, Pummeler is fine. Trouble with Pummeler is that it can die without being damaged, and then you just feel like you've overpaid. But if there's a ground combat situation, it puts him in a tough spot. Hey, it's like a payoff. Kind of. I just don't know how, like, we're doing the thing, but not very well is the problem. Scob. I didn't blah much, no. Just kind of went with it today. I'm going to take this over the wolf. I worry about exile creatures in a creature light situation, but that's not even what we are. That's why I checked. We're at 50, you know, that's why I'm laughing. I don't know what our ratio will be at the end, but this is not the most non-creature heavy, non-creature spells matter deck I've ever played. And probably another guest to fill out 3s here over another 5 that is only really good if it's using up this resource. So I don't like putting too much pressure on these scobs to have targets. And then the Flame Breather does come back around. We could still just take the Spirit, but I think I'm going to take the Flame Breather. I want to see how that card plays. And I know the Spirit does not seem to play very well to me. And here's a 2-drop we can consider. Fear of Death. I'm not... Aura removal in this set, especially with the Exploit, is just too risky. Yeah, it's non-creature. It doesn't have to be instant and sorceries. Yeah, I get it. I get it for the synergies, but I still just don't... I just don't want to play that card. Turn into Media before your eyes. All right, let's do it this way. Did I miss a Celebrant I could have taken? Maybe so, sorry. I'm not sure I took over it if I passed a Celebrant, but I did want to take one of the... did want to try this thing. So we'll start with Celebrant. Okay, so red, yeah. Want to try this. I'm going to not run this yet, but we're probably running a random 2/2 for 2. But I can wait before adding it. I'm going to play one of these for sure. I think I'm playing that Pummeler, regardless of how hard it pummels. We had this. We're trying this. And then we're looking at probably needing to play... I'll hold on these non-creatures for now. Playing that. Definitely playing that. Do we get enough? Are we playing the egg? Are we sacking this egg ever? Maybe I didn't like the Pummeler. As I said, this would be great in best of 3 when you know that you're like in a ground game. But yeah, if we can't sack egg, we shouldn't really play it. We're definitely playing this thing. That's why we pivoted to blue. Syncopate definitely makes the cut. Throng is worse than a Ridge Wolf as a 1-of. And now I'm at least in the stage of, okay, what we add from here depends on what we think we want to do with this deck. So 12-5. Boy, Wandering Mind's not going to find much. Like, we really need to play our non-creatures. So yes, I'm going to play the Retrieval and play at least one Cradle. But that's the thing, we don't have much. I mean, I just did. I added it. Yeah, so again, even as I was drafting this deck, I knew I was kind of in the wrong lane. Yeah, I'll put another 4/4 Menace in. So our adherence, our non-creature spell factor in this deck is not where you want it to be for this color pair. We still have ways to win games, and we're going to try. But this is way more of just a straightforward, mostly creatures, here's some spells type deck that has some synergy with the spells side. I don't understand why we think this is good. People have played it against me twice. I barely noticed it. Like, it did nothing for them. But I hear chat, and again, I have the humility to say I don't know where I'm at in this format. Blood tokens can be nuts? Are blood tokens nuts in this deck? What makes a blood token nuts in this deck? Future turning of a land into a potential spell, right? I mean, I get it. But to call that nuts is hyperbole. Call the hyperboles. Spending 1 mana to rummage away a land in the late game is not nuts. It's not. You got to be doing other stuff. Well, I got 1 Cradle in now. I don't know if we want 2. I think half is too much. I'll give you like a third of a card. Two 5 flyer. Well, we're at 38 here. I should get to this. I mean, we can put in both. It's not like we have like we could add again. We could do Cradle if we really want to up our spell count and put in another spell. But to show you that despite my negative feelings about this card, again, I am humble enough to understand that I'm behind a lot of others in this format, and I'm willing to put it in and try. And then we do have 1 more slot. So let's put this in as a... Okay, chat, show me. And then for the final slot, and this will be a 17 lander, I think, here. We gotta add Cradle or Scob, I think, are really our 2 choices here. Unless, does this do any? Yeah, no, that's a sideboard card. So we're gonna, this is what to add. Scob, is that double A? How do you spell these weird words? Scob or Safety. I think I will also add the... No, I'm not going to add the Entomber, because if you want a creature, choose the Scob. But if you feel like we should add more non-creatures, we can add Cradle. Second Cradle for the Storm Chaser is interesting. Cradle plus Catgeist can get it through sometimes. It's like Scob and a Runaway. All right. All right. And yeah, that looks right. Some underwhelming cards in here, but not much in the board for us. The many directions we were looking at through pack 1 impacted our playables by the end, but I'm happy that I get to try a red-blue deck, even if it's not going to be the best version. It's not necessarily that I think blood is build around. It's that I don't see blood as worth half a card. Media, give me a mana value on a blood token. How much partial mana is a blood token worth to you? I'm not telling you blood is build around. Maybe you're just thinking I'm saying that because I was talking about how many hooks the blood token has for designers to create synergies around it, but I'm not saying it's necessarily, certainly I'm saying if you build around it, I mean, when there's blood synergies, yeah, then it gets a lot better. But I'm merely speaking to how much I think a blood token is worth, and I think I'm just lower on it currently than maybe the drafting public is. Wouldn't be the first time. Now, that's not what I asked, Media. I'm saying, in the abstract, if you tack on, create a blood token on any random card, how much mana value are you adding to that card? That is my question. I want to hear the answers. And this is, what do we got? Doubles. We got a couple of belligerent guests, celebrating. Bolt got 2 bolts. How about slow bolt? I don't know. If you don't think that's a very good question, then you're not. From a game design standpoint, it is the question, Media. If you're in R&D and you need to balance magic cards, you need to decide how much that text on the card increases the cost so you can consider what cards should cost. So getting tilty again. Getting Media-splained on what design questions are good. All right. All right, Media, back off. I'm going to go into... Give me a mode-only mode for 2 minutes. I need a clearing. It'll also help me focus on my game here. I'm going to keep this. Oh, as curving into this seems nice. Let's see what we can find with that. Take it. Exile is nice here. We can bolt the bearer and they don't get the flight aura. And it can't block our Wandering Mind. Uh-oh, now I gotta read my rare. Oh, I can't cast it yet, so I don't need to read it yet, right? I should, though. 3-1. Beginning your turn, choose one. Tap target. Your target doesn't untap. Okay, yeah. That's good. We just kind of attack and leave everything up here. Can't cast the Geist anyway. Hoping to syncopate something sweet here. And yeah, I'm going to bolt the bearer now. If they go for a syncopate, I think we can resyncopate, right? Huh. Yeah, I'll syncopate that, though. Why not? Let's just use our mana and keep our plan moving forward. A little too much mountain here for what we want in terms of this Geist, but what can we do here? Return target none. So we can we could even bounce our Wandering Mind for Fancy Play Syndrome, but I guess we do have looting, but I'm still gonna run out land. Yeah, a blood token would be great here. Would a blood token that I got from a 1/1 for 1 that pinged my opponent once be great here? I still don't think so. All right. The fact that it would be hitting that opponent is not a big selling point for me. In the average case, Mike, should we expect our 1/1 to be hitting our opponent every turn after turn 1? Hey, I'm running it. You guys hear me, right? I'm just telling you how my 20-plus-year-old Magic brain assesses that card, and how my 20-plus-year-old Magic brain and 7-year professional Magic designer brain thinks of pricing that mechanic. But the fact that I can still be wrong about stuff despite all that, again, is what makes this game something we keep coming back to. I'm fine, Hat. Don't worry. But, and yes, because like, I want to have these debates. I don't want to be in a place where I can't feel like I can't take it, or you all can't talk at me about it. But yeah, when I need a head clearer, I'll take it. Oh, Magic. I'm trying to come up with the design rule. Like, it would be inelegant, but like something like, if you have 5 basic lands each of 2 different basic lands in your limited deck, you get to add up to 2 enters the battlefield tapped lands, dual lands in those 2 colors. Like, everybody just gets free support for your mana base as long as you have at least 5 and 5 of the 2 colors. Does that, like, it's too clunky, it'll never happen, but like, it would make limited Magic better. I'm gonna keep anyway though. We got Syncopate on 2, maybe we'll find red. I'm greedy. Yeah, exactly. The design intent here is to find a way to provide that fixing without creating a splash fest. Which is why I felt for limited you could look at amount of you know, basics as a measuring. Yeah, we'll pate that. It's even got a disturb side that we can exile. Now, how about a mountain or a good thing to cast? No such luck. Well, I took my chances. It was a risky keep. Oppo not pressuring me, though, so we still have some time to draw out of this. Boo. Well, if you were on Team Mulligan, the universe we ended up in likes your choice. Hey, okay. This is how we potentially get back in this. We can set up a... Maybe we just go Wandering. We definitely got to cast something red. The question, if we go Wandering Mind, we can look for more interaction and hold up Cradle of Safety. 5-drop does just stonewall this, though. I'm probably just being fancy play, right? And then we can blood token if we get more islands. Let's see if they attack into this. Yeah, good point. They're playing blue. They might be countering. Let's drop the biggest thing we can land. 2 spelling when they might have counterspell is nice because they get only 1 of them, right? Bye, celebrants. That's us getting punished for really not getting on board quickly. Now, our removal doesn't take care of that. I'm not looking to loot away anything, though. I think we just play the statue and the celebrant, and that's a fine turn. Could hold up a braid, but I'd rather get on board since we don't have a target here. I guess we have a target. I could destroy this enchantment, or destroy this artifact, which we might do if they go shields down and have great... I mean, they already do have pretty good value to get back here, so it's worth considering abrading the fountain if they tap out, if they tap below being able to activate it. But we're just going to say no blocks here. Thing is, I can also just straight up abrade the socialite. I think we'll start by looting away an island. Oh yeah, Pummeler does work here. Can still do it. Sorry, I forgot my this made red really, but I still like on that front, kind of like Wandering Mind. Get the blood crazed, and then Pummeler comes down to further shore up. I can do the Pummeler play next turn. Let's see what Wandering Mind gets us, and then have a braid up. Can even see if they go for sack for this. Put +2/+2 on the stack, and although this now telegraphs that we could do that instead. And to that end, maybe I could just play. I could play the Ridge Wolf at this point, or follow through on the plan and again destroy the Blood Fountain. Because this is 2 cards. This is only 1 card, and we could eventually bounce this. But we're on such low life. Well, low 13, given a 5/5 menace and a 5/4, really. So Krauser wants the fountain. Mike wants the socialite. Another problem is if I wait until they activate socialite, I'm also giving them mana. Then they have the mana to do blood fountain. So regardless of what we do it right now. Yeah, that was my thinking, Krauser. Mike's point is that the churning that it's going to take for them to do that, especially with a bounce spell in hand, we might be able to tempo them out. I'm going to go with the socialite, but it's a close one. But that's exactly the tension, where Krauser came from and where Mike was coming from. And are we double blocking? If we're not double blocking, I should send the Celebrant. And I don't think that we are here. I don't think this is time to double block. It's not our plan, so I'm going to send the Celebrant. Hey, we know that guy. This thing's been following me around, and I've been crushing with it. Only fair that we could lose to it here. We can bounce 1 and try to set up a Pummeler to somehow get the other. How do we not die? I guess Pummeler with Cradle of Safety. I think it is very hard to beat this card. So very, very hard to beat this card. But I'm going to do this while their shields are down. And then... do I have time? Like, a Pummeler is on a 3/3 Pummeler. I'm afraid to even do mostly, because I'll do mostly dead if I can come up with my plan to win. I don't have a plan to win. Swing both 2/1s, you say. What does that do for us? Just racing? They're just like, they're never blocking ever? Maybe so. You're probably right, they never block ever. How do they block? Look at that. How do they block? Mike's right. How do they block? But we might have to rummage away. Let's go looking for what our outs are and see if we need to rummage for them. We've got what? He goes looking for his outs and finds stone nothing. Stone nothing. Except them bad blocking our Pummeler. I mean, I'm gonna do it because that's our hope. And if I make a 3/3 Pummeler and make it a 4/4 with Cradle of Safety, it could actually kill that thing if they block it, but it's never working. This is like, I am now making legal Magic plays that don't matter. This is like the bear on a bicycle mode. Well, I can pay for this spell, so I will. Do I have Lacerate? I didn't think we got one. Yeah, we didn't get a Lacerate, and it wouldn't have been enough anyway on the 6. But maybe with Pummeler or something. Sweet! Now we get to make a bigger Pummeler. This Oppo is terrible. I gotta laugh just because it's about time that this card punched me in the face. I've had it 3 drafts so far. And I haven't done that many drafts, so...
Is this a dead man, Doctor?
Very dead, Mr. Spock.
We got past that demon in the bot draft because we cut black so hard yesterday. Sometimes the bomb eats you. All right, this looks good. Fine place to start anyway. Celebrant into Flame Breather in to give us some other action, please. Well, get a 4th land, and that certainly qualifies as other action. So we're a land away from having a curve out to 4, and 2 lands away from having a curve out to 5. Which would be nice. Well, curve out suggests using all your mana. It doesn't look like we're going to use all our mana on turn 3 right now. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to stack our deck, give us a 3-drop and then 2 lands after that. Well, we needed land eventually, so that's cool by me. We're going to, of course, offer up this Celebrant. I mean, not offer up. It's a we win combat if they block, so we're attacking, though. Yeah, that's not your ideal play, but it's the grown-up thing to do. If you've got no other 2-drops, I think you're making a mistake to just, like, not play out your 2-drop. And that's kind of bold, but I get that too. I mean, this is a value play. You lose your Scob, and that's sad, but they're getting value here. Card and a replacement. I'm not sure I would have done it, but I get it, is what I'm saying. We're going to send the Celebrant. If they double block, it's a 1-for-1, but we would trade for the Stitched Assistant in that case, which seems fine. And I don't mind dead creatures for that Scob anyway. I don't know. You can name some reasons to hold lands or play lands, and really to mix it up to do things in both directions that way. Keep them guessing. What does tapping do for us here? Cast a non-creature spell. Can't do that yet anyway. Probably just want the Celebrants here. What is tapping something? I mean, we get a flyer in the air, right? But we spend all of our mana and get a 4/4 menace with blood tokens to help loot away, rummage away lands that we draw from here. So I think I'm in on Celebrant, and then Lancer as a 3/3 though is real. That would be a reason to do it. We can, if we pin down the Lancer, we can still send the Celebrant. It's still, they just double block, and now a double block of 2/2 and 2/1 seems like a good block on Blood Petal. Although again, I want dead creatures for the Scob anyway. So I think I'm on send. No, yeah, I think I was gonna do it that way. Now I gotta be on Celebrants. Yeah, we'll just do Celebrants. Celebrants, no attack. I think that was correct anyway. I was thinking about tapping this down, but then all it is get a very medium attack in with a Celebrant, which I was gonna attempt to justify because of the Scob wanting things dead, but that's not a reason to do that. We'll let things die in time and then get a card off of this. Or if we just think a big flyer is important, we can do that too. I'm going to get up in the air now, though, because now we pin down a 3/3, and I'm willing to send in the 2/1 and the 4/4. And there's either a double block or a trade for the Celebrant that's a 1-for-1, but not a great one. And then, do we even care about this? Why do we, like, if we're going to start winning in the air, I just don't even think we care about the Phalanx. I'm going to start on the Lancer. Oh, no, I might be behind still on a couple of memes. Sorry, gang. I probably have missed one so far. Let me know if there's something I missed. But we can rummage first and still play the Geist, so I'm going to do that. Abrade gives us some more some more options. We could just abrade the Lancer. But I'm gonna go with the rare. Still just do the play I suggested. I'm just gonna give it to them. I like how the dust settles here for us, Mike, so I'm just gonna offer it, especially because we have that Scob again that does want dead creatures at some point. So accept the double block is also okay by me. How many throngs do they wish? They got at least one extra. So, I mean, at least two. Yeah, I don't know what the thinking there was. Maybe they have, I would say they have zombie synergies, but that's a zombie. So yeah, I don't know. Seems like maybe they have reanimation. They're going to play, they want to get a creature card back from their graveyard, or scavenge. Do we have, yeah, I guess we're going to get our stuff scavenged now. So, a braid. Well, now we're just kind of playing the air game here. If I tap down the 113 and a braid the scavenger, we still don't have great attacks. So yeah, I think you're right. We just let it go knight and hit in the air and save the island for the rummage. I don't even want to abrade anything on their upkeep, so we just pass. There you go. That could partially explain the decision. They get a card out of this. Good blocker for our flyer. Now we might have to abrade plus... Oh, Dream Shackle can just tap it down, I guess. Need 2 flyers to stop this thing. Never mind. But I kind of like holding the abrade for that other flyer possibility. We're ahead in the life race, so let's race in the air until they add to the air, and then abrade whatever they add to the air if that is killable with that. Yeah, I'm just taking this. I do love the card flow and what that represents. Again, I'm pretty enamored with these little tokeny mechanics they're including that help us keep doing things all game long. Well, I could double up on that thing, but again, don't need to yet. And now I kind of want something else to die, although we don't have any creatures in the yard now. Yeah, we're just going to add to the air. Unfortunately, it does not add to the air in a way that lets us draw a card. But it hopefully lets us add to the air in a way that will make this a 3-turn clock. Nah, it's going to be a longer clock than that now. Could send the Ravager, and what does that do? Just gets bounce blocked. Nothing on the ground matters because of the big boy. So we say no attacks. Yeah, sorry, let me get that one for you. Even I know that one.
All right, everyone, chill.
I like playing the land here because we can hold up Bolt with the Scob. I think that's worth it. If we had like an active blood vial, I might just rummage, but I think it's worth holding this up here with no active rummaging around. It's our worst creature. Is it the Celebrant at this point? Probably. This at least blocks better and does some damage. So I think we give up the Celebrant. Kill the one. Yeah, yeah, that should have done that. You're right. I'm just sitting here worrying about how I'm sacrificing. I didn't really worry about messing with their exploit choices. That's a little leak I'll try and work on. Beginning of combat in your turn. So that's going to flip. And then we're kind of dead to that. So then we need to kill that thing, but it's going to turn into a 6. 6 actually gets through that, but maybe they'll block. But I think we're going to get stuff thrown in our face. So not liking our chances now. That's true. Is this sorcery only, though? I guess because how do we... Yeah, I don't know how we keep this tapped, Mike. I mean, I get conceptually what you're saying, but what's mechanically, sequentially, how does that work? So I guess we attack and hope they block with the catapult, but why would they? They can block with this and this and this before they even need to put their captain at risk. Pretty bad news bears, honestly, gang. I'm not sure how we get there from here. I guess we had to tap something, and then, like, we tap the Death Toucher. And then send these in the most desperation thing you've ever seen. I guess leaving this back. I mean, truly, like, we're just dead if they don't somehow block with the catapult captain. We're going to give them a chance to make a mistake, but we're effectively dead. Rummage for a third burn spell is interesting. Well, that was certainly the way to go there first. I know, but people make mistakes, right? When you're up against it and you realize a mistake from your opponent could give you an out, you got to go for it. We do have another bolt, and that could get us enough. So that's what we are doing. We're going to rummage away the mountain with an island, leaving us a braid bolt as the way we can take out this thing. So one time, dealer. Let's come on, 3 for 1 ourselves. Come on. Nah. All right, I'm going to give it to him at this point. They know that they've got... That thing's going to chuck stuff at us and we're going to be dead. I'm going to save my time.
He's dead,
if not
sir.
my life.
That man's dead back there.
Must be dead.
He was worse than dead. His brain is gone.
Although I could have let Oppo chuck a cow at me. That wouldn't have been the worst sportsmanship on my part. But whatever. Too much of a... Why are we still playing if the game is over? All right, up against it. I acknowledged after we drafted this deck that it was not a great version of the deck, and that was due in large part to my leaning hard into it. I wouldn't say I forced it. We bounced around lanes all over the place, but I did lean into it probably against better judgment for power level, but I am glad to have been able to play this archetype. And we'll keep this. Syncopate their 3-drop seems fine. Then Wandering Mind. I could Ridge Wolf, save the Syncopate for later. Yeah, let's do that. I was just all set to Syncopate, but with a 2-drop, I should just play the 2-drop creature and get it on board. Also lets us potentially find our light amounts of non-creature synergies and get some value out of that. You know, maybe we find that pinger before we cast the Syncopate. Although that sure would have been a nice thing to Syncopate, huh? Hey, Pass Dog. Yeah, it was an interesting game until suddenly I was going to get 13 points chucked right at my face. Nice work. Now then, how do we not die? Here, you can play Belligerent Guest and it trades for some stuff, but so does the Ridge Wolf. I'm going to go Wandering Mind and look for some burn. Maybe we can get rid of that Scab, which is going to cause us additional trouble here. Ugh. 0 for 6. But good news, we're 6 cards closer to some removal for the Scab. Yeah, I'm not going to be happy with this format unless I chuck a 13 toughness creature at somebody's face at some point, so I totally get it, Pass Dog. How many games have you played with that deck? Have you accomplished the feat? So now, Guest, Hold Up Revival, or just Hold Up Syncopate. Trouble is, this thing, you know, people are saying this is hasn't played well or something. I don't know. I look at this and think Threat of Activation is like, how am I supposed to accept them turning a land in their hand into a removal spell for 1 and a black? So really, I want to get a 4/4 down, and on that front, I guess I can just play the get. I'm gonna, like, they might go land and then they try to play that thing that makes us sack. If we hold back to double block the 3/3, aren't we just letting them then 2 for 1 for a land in hand? I don't understand why. And then are then you saying we revival? Well, I guess I'm not attacking anyway. I gotcha. Yeah. Sure. I guess that's our best line, Mike. You're probably right. We need to survive and get to Celebrants, and that'll help do it. It still even lets us syncopate, so we might be able to syncopate on the way down something else. So I like that we do have a potential 2-spell turn here. Could also just go for 1-for-1s, but I like Mike's line of forcing them into action here and then punishing that action. Attempting to. Punishing it backed up by Syncopate, so this should work. And we could hold up Syncopate for the known tough out. But we also are saying that Celebrants is an out to the tough out, right? That they can't attack into the 4/4. But we could even, like, guest hold up a single mana Syncopate. It wouldn't get this, but it would get something else. I think I'm in for Celebrants here. We even have a backup Celebrants if they answer this one, and it currently answers their whole board, but I'll start with an attack. It's not really, though. I mean, with these, it gets worse, but it gets better. I mean, as we draw land, it gets better. So it really grows to fit the game, which is what I like about it. Worse and worse, but they're going to start trying to cast their 6s and 7s, right? Is it really worse when they're looking to do 5 drops here? Only one spare mana to deny them with. And do we want this back? I'm going to decline. We already have the other one. It would only be if we still wanted 2, and actually with a 3/5, I'm not sure that we do anymore. Ridgewolf for the Scob is an interesting offer. Do you think this is coming with strings attached? What do we got for 1 blue in the format? I guess they could bounce their own with this, but whatever. I'll trade for something. Wow, just offering that. All right. Really want to get them. All right, Celebrants again. I think so. Still stops this. And still not blocking with this. I'm playing the land despite our plethora of blood vials because I do want the Syncopate to do work still, and we'll. I think we have the stability to get there if we make sure we can counter their next big thing. Question is whether we bother running out a guest here or just try and hold the line with the Celebrants, because Syncopate backing up Celebrants on defense means Oppo doesn't have good attacks. But if we play the guest, we still have Syncopate for 2, which could get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drop if that's what they play. But really, if we play guest, we're saying we're not going to Syncopate this turn, which is my concern. I'm going to start with an attack. I'm not going to block with the Wandering Mind. I'm going to hold Hajj, I hear you, but I think Syncopate protects against anything they could do to disrupt the fact that Celebrants is holding this ground. My plan is to block the 2/2 and go to 4. And then, we're just going to bolt that. And maybe I even, at this point, block the Squire and say, fine, pitch your last card. So, do I need to do it now, or can I do it when it enters? No, when it enters, so... I guess we just syncopate that then. We just syncopate that, right? That's why I was just... Sometimes you don't need to, Polak. Like, I was looking to see if we could actually get away with saving it, but we can't. So let's just do this for 3. This is fine. I have a meme? Maybe not. Miss any memes? Oh, I did. Now, attack with Wandering Mind, play Belligerent Guest, hold up Cradle. Seems fine. Yeah, that's a good point. Guest doesn't do that much. A little late on reading your suggestion, Haj, but a totally reasonable perspective with all these extra blood tokens. And yeah, turning our 4/4 into a 5/5 gets them if they go for that attack. They just haven't been going for it, so I figured they wouldn't there either. Pummeler. Yeah, we have a little bit of conflict between the desire to loot away lands and the desire to keep some lands for some of our action. I think we go shields down on Cradle of Safety to get a 4/4 Pummeler. Since they haven't answered this 4/4, another one should be great. Oppo with the big paws, but that can be fully explained by the Bloodsworn Knight, so we didn't get any info there. He's going the distance. He's going with speed.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right. Well, that's nice to get a second win here. I was not feeling too great about this deck. So crawling back to at least 2 wins feels respectable for an underwhelming pile of cards. And maybe we can break even here. Maybe profit. Maybe a trophy. Who knows with Magic? Now, maybe I just misused them, but that was 4 blood tokens in that game that didn't do anything. Okay? Just data points, data points, data points. They sure would have been helpful if the game had gone long, though. If Oppo had stabilized and we were looking to win a long game, they would have been excellent. This is a great keep. Yeah, I'm not trying to tip the scales unfairly in any position of mine. I'm truly trying to call out the data points we're getting here. And that's one of them. Oh boy, here's another chance. This might work! I'm so excited! We have Catgeist on 2 backed up by a Braid. This could work! We could do this! And given our complete lack of a third land, I sure hope it works. Come on, one time! Oh wait, no, it works! I was like, a Braid doesn't get the job done, but Flame Blessed Bolt does! Yay! No land, though. Come on. Come on, deck. Bloodcaster. There we go. Needed that land. I don't think it matters whether we play the land before or after combat, but we're going to abrade away the bomb and draw another card. They're going to get the bomb back. I know that. They're never... I guess they're never blocking, but I wanted that thing dead anyway. They're never blocking, and I'm always killing, so I don't... you're right, I should have given them a chance to make a mistake, but I think we all know that it was going to end the same way. But chat is technically correct. I guess we just go with Raconteur here. Could also do Storm Chaser Drake Celebrant. That gives us some more attacks. Could also do Board Celebrant. Swing in with the Geist and let it die. Play the Storm Chaser Drake and put the Cat Geist land on top of it. Four power that can attack. Are you talking Ravager? Or Drake Celebrant? I think I hear you saying Drake Celebrant, which I kind of like. Certainly we're playing the Celebrant if we're not playing the Raconteur. And then it's just Drake or Board. But yeah, if we're not sending the... one of the things I was trying to disguise, Mike, I'll go with that line. But what I was thinking of is that... I want to disguise the fact that we want to eventually want to put the Catgeist aura on our Drake. But we'll say no, and I'll give you this cool meme.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here.
Now we have to be careful with Catgeist. What an interesting attack here. What do you think of this? Why am I not putting, like, Celebrant on Servitor here? What do you want to block with, though? Because we could also block with Catgeist and just take it in race, says Mike. That's interesting, too. Yeah, like... It's an interesting attack. Yeah, I'm with Mike. This is fine. I can't see blocking with a Catgeist so that we can, quote, get a card when we get a card by just swinging back the other direction. Yeah, maybe so, but I think, I don't know, let him have it. Ooh, Cradle says we could do that instead, Mike, if we wanted to protect our stuff, especially this Drake. But I think, yeah, whatever. Let's just drop a 5-er and have Cradle for next turn. Yeah, and if their plan is, like, eventually get their rare back via the Blood Fountain and all that, I think this is going to be too slow. I think we're outpacing them here. And here, we're going to get them with Cradle of Safety and Storm Chaser Drake, because they're totally going to block Drake with Waltzer. Or at least I would. I mean, at some point you run out of options. So I'm just going to swing away with everything, and I'm going to play this just to have extra mana up. Well, I should think, because we do have blood tokens we could rummage this away on. If we cast this, we still have this. I can just leave it up. I can leave it in hand for now, and then if we cradle mid-combat, we can decide whether we're looking to Raconteur or Statue and whether we keep the mountain or not. So we can just send all and decide that after we see what results from this swing all. Yeah, that's a great observation, Aura X, but, and With Ease has the line they like, but we get to... The main thing is we get to decide after combat. Kind of don't want to send the Celebrant, who cares? Like, if they use the flyer to block the Celebrant, we don't get as much value out of the Cradle of Safety, but it's still good, so whatever. All right, now easy mountain play because we can still do the we can rummage away the other one. I kind of forced it. I kind of forced the issue a bit, Alexis. The deck is not great because of that, but it's been good enough. We're 2-2 right now, trying to claim a third one. But it's really not representative of the archetype. It's really just a classic mid-range blue-red deck with some light non-creature synergy stuff. Yeah, we could go Mountain Catgeist on Flyer. If they kill it, though, we'll wish we had it for something else, right? Let's play one mountain. Mike says Catgeist on Flyer, hold up Mountain Rummage. I kind of like Raconteur. Oh, they can exile it when they... Oh, yeah, because they do have this thing, right? That is fair. Although, if they spend 3 of their mana on their turn exiling the Catgeist, isn't that good for us? That being said, I'm too much of a value hound. With that observation, we'll do it. That's exactly what I was saying, Alexis. I think if they do that, it's good for us, but whatever. Mike's coming around to where I was, but I'm coming around to Mike's greed, so it's kind of funny. Mike convinced me, and I convinced Mike. There you go. That's true. Yeah, it's pretty big to draw a card there, right? A little life back for Oppo, but we're still in a great spot here. We're in red-blue, and a couple of our cards care whether or not you're casting non-creature spells. That's how I would put it. I don't think that to call this a red-blue spells deck implies more about the synergy load in the deck than is true. And I actually hate that hat. That creatures are our spells. I think that's one of those little things that if I were in the time traveling machine and talking to Richard Garfield in '92 or whatever, I'd be like, maybe have 3 like spells creatures as spells, just as something that doesn't quite register right with the brain. Well, lands being not lands would be nice. Yeah, it's kind of clean, right? I do like to be able to say to people, everything in your deck is either a land or a spell. Like, that's one of the early lessons I give to players, right? Everything in your deck is either a land or a spell. I'm just going to throw out some land, speaking of. I know we're going to do that much. All right, so I just get back to winning this game and not drawing it out. What do we have to win off of? We can play Raconteur and get some pings in, like Raconteur Soul Cipher board, but I think we're just attacking first because this is going to draw us cards ostensibly. And do we want to send the Celebrant is one question. Maybe not until maybe we should actually rummage first, because there might be something that affects the Celebrant's attack. So I'm going to rummage first. Oop, out of timeouts. Careful now. Doesn't change attacks, but I like attack all. Because if they want to eat the Celebrant, then they have to take the 4 from the... sorry, the Celebrants. If they eat the Celebrant, they take the Celebrants. And we'll take out the Death Toucher. Be happy about that. Just probably play another Celebrants at this point. See what we draw, though. Yeah, I'll change something. There's more land. So Celebrants or Raconteur hold up, or Raconteur board. That actually gets a point right now. But this is just, I think this is, it would be fancy play not to do this, and because we can rummage away these lands too. Yeah, we need a Cool in the Gang meme for all these Celebrants. Celebrate good times, come on. Speaking of wedding songs. That blocks the flyer, but then the 4/4 closes for the win. So right now, yeah, this is still GG. All right, 3 wins with this deck. That's a victory right there. We're just out playing them. Thanks to chat. Sure. Soul Cipher board, not the ideal turn 2 play, but it's something. And then we get a statue on 3 to ramp into Celebrants with any other land. No baby at 41 weeks. Hang in there, D. Well, whatever. You just sit around and wait and be nice to pregnant people. Well, Epicure. Let's do this. Still just max the mana. You're late, Epicure. Need a land off the top here, ideally. No luck, but we could play a Raconteur as a 4-drop. Or we can do a 2-spell Epicure Guest. Here's where I'm not liking this card at all. Like, it's not going to get through. And I guess I could rummage for land, but it's not really what I want to be doing. But it's all I've got, so yeah, we'll do it. I just don't like having to give up my spells, but I suppose it's better than not having a 5th land. Again, I like a blood token. I just don't know if it's not... This card's not quite feeling worth a full card to me. I didn't even call it well, laden words like trash just muddy the conversation. It felt below replacement to me, and chat insisted that it's above replacement, and so I'm giving it a chance. Yeah, I'm going to swing both red cards, but I'm going to do it with 5 mana up for threats. Well, and chat's point is like caring for blood is just that blood is good, right? So you like sending the Epicure into his death because we want dead things? Why do you want... Because we don't mind a token off the board and that deal? And something for Scob? But man, if that's our big haha got there, is that we suicide this in so that it can fuel our other stuff. All right, well, I'll go with Mike's line here. It does give some value back, so we get a blood token, a counter off the board, and half of a card off the Scob. I don't remember our week count D. Yeah, I don't know. It's all lost in my memory now. I didn't even block it, so there you go. Let's do Celebrants, though. Max mana. Yeah, that could have been a line knight. I like just dropping the 5 mana 4/4 here. Immediately punish the aura removal. And we can do that off of after we Raconteur even. Means we don't cast it this turn, but we couldn't do that anyway. Can save it too. Instant speed, just revival before we untap. Throw a block down if needed. Although they're all flying, so they're just not blocking nothing. Yeah, so we'll swing for 1. And this... holding up the statue, though. Hey, Charmy, what's going on? I need to tap this before end step. Why? Oh, yeah, to make sure it flips well. Is that kind of like... I guess maybe we do it... Yeah, that's weak. Since we're not threatening to block with this, then I'm willing to do it. Like, if we had actually a threat of a block, I wouldn't want to do that, but there's no real value to leaving it around. I never flipped this thing before. Uh-oh, Mythic, what does it do? Huh. Can you let me read this card, please? Holy hell, Arena. You're asking me to make a choice and not letting me hover over things on the battlefield. I wish I knew what my card said. I don't know. I don't know what that card does because Arena's not letting me look at it, so I guess that's a thing. I know it wants me to click mana. I want to assess my board before I choose my mana color. No, but I don't. Look, gang, I'm not saying there's anything important that I'm missing. The point is I don't know that there's anything important that I'm missing. Look, I know this is not even a reading stream. I'm saying I can't read. I would like to be disciplined enough to check my cards, and I can't. Anyway, we'll take blue, I guess. Right-click the arrow on the top of the card? Really? What? But I did. It didn't work. Not that well, maybe I missed it. I don't know. Yeah, that suffice it to say, if that was their plan, it wasn't a very good one anyway. I'm at 0 hourglasses. Now I'm panicked. I'm going to do this because I can cast it. And I'll attack with this because it's big. Maybe I wanted to play the flyer, but you saw me. I was nearly roped. I just did a legal play before having my turn passed on me. Okay, now, see, this is what you're talking about. So I close this, right? That what you were talking about? Still no ability to read the cards, okay? This is a bug. This is bad. I would be going to QA saying, this is a real, no, gang, I'm not dumb. I'm clicking everything. Come on. Anyway, this is bad. Wizards, fix it. I'll report it. It's just a bug. Bugs happen. Oh, I needed to loot though. I'm sitting here railing on Wizards and meanwhile losing games of Magic. I think this one was out of reach though. So let's do it right from here. Okay, we got an Abrade, so we're not dead. Oh, we're still dead, right? Because of this. I was thinking we were at 3. Did we lose a life or did I just miscount? I think I'm all discombobulated. I thought we were at 3. We do have, we still have 1 out. Oh, wait. Gotta actually move that. And then let's see, we go all attack except for 1. I'll do it this way. Yeah, I screwed up last turn. That's all right, gang. It's just streaming blues. It's all right. We're going to still find our 1 out here. Watch. Now we'll get it now that we're out of mana. Now. That was certainly a winnable game, gang. Sorry, but that's the stream in life. I certainly play that tighter if I'm not yammering on about one thing or another, or railing against Wizards, or trying to be entertaining. But no problem. I had fun with it anyway. We got our 3 wins, which out of that deck felt great. Nice. Hodge found a line there. Tron, I think, was feeling it, or Rolock was. Yeah, right. Could have tossed a creature. I just completely butchered the end of that game, and I apologize, but hopefully you had fun otherwise. The bug that I was annoyed by, the bug was that when the statue offered me to select mana, there was no way for me to look at anything on my board. And if you're choosing a color of mana, you might want to be able to look closely at cards on the board. I mean, I don't think it mattered. Like, I didn't have anything on the board that would have affected my decision, but I didn't know that. I couldn't check. I don't have all these cards memorized. What's the purveyor? I'm not even sure what stupid bomb we're talking about. I guess I can go look. What stupid bomb is we are talking about? Let's see. Oh, I've had this. Yeah, this card is dumb. This is the one I had. I had this in an offline draft, and my opponent played the 2-drop 2/1 flyer that that flips on 5 blood tokens. And it was a really interesting battle between their thing that loved to have blood tokens and my thing that loved to have opponents having blood tokens. My thing won. Blood Vial Purveyor ended up attacking for like 11-6 trample in that game. Hacks yourself, silly hacks yourself with only 1 piece of removal for the demon. You need 2. You should have known that. All right, let's we get 10 plus packs here. We'll do that. Yeah. All right, YouTube friends. Well, a pilot paying better attention would have gotten at least 4 wins out of the deck we weren't super confident in, or at least I wasn't. I don't know what chat thought of that deck, and I still don't particularly love it, but it had enough removal and enough interaction and enough curve out potential to get there a few times anyway, and could have been more even with a little tighter play. But that's the way the cards flop. We'll see you at the next draft, YouTube friends.